Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose, such as criticism, commenting, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
Damage that the hurricane has brought. We have live water rescues that have been happening this morning and continue at this hour. You see, this is in Clearwater. This is in Clearwater, Florida. This is on the west coast of Florida, and that is where we find on the west coast of Florida Boris Sanchez, who's standing by. You lived through it, reporting on it all throughout the day and night for us, Boris. And behind you is some of the evidence of just how strong Hurricane Milton was and the winds that it brought.
Yeah, absolutely. Some fearsome winds coming into Florida's Gulf Coast, Kate. This is Tropicana Field. It's one of the centers of the community here in St. Petersburg. And as you can see behind me, the roof is in tatters. It's been completely shorn by the wind. And that's notable in part because this is one of the bases of emergency operations in response to Hurricane Milton. You had emergency personnel sheltering there, you had resources gathered there, and you can see how impactful this hurricane was. Something you may also be able to see behind me is that there is a pretty decent amount of traffic for this hour, especially after a storm. We were able to look in the damage to structures. So right now, it looks like the roof got the worst of it at Tropicana Park. But obviously, this is one area of St. Petersburg. It doesn't highlight what's happening across Pinellas County and neighboring Hillsborough County as well. We tried to access an area of Pinellas County earlier today that's been shut off. Sheriff's deputies had closed a bridge leading into an area where we understand that there had been some down power lines, extensive flooding as well. We know that in
Governor Ron DeSantis, let's go jump over now to Governor Ron DeSantis giving his first live update of the day.
FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell, Florida State Guard Director Mark Theme, and Major General John Haas from the Florida National Guard. Around 8:30 last night, Hurricane Milton made landfall near Siesta Key in Sarasota County. It moved quickly across central Florida overnight, producing significant flooding and damaging winds near its path. The storm did bring much destruction and damage. Tornadoes ravaged parts of the east coast of the state. Flooding occurred on the west and east coast, and strong winds lashed the state, especially in Pinellas, Hillsborough, Manatee, and Sarasota counties. Over the last 24 hours, heavy rainfall totals upwards of 10 to 15 inches has been observed across much of the Tampa Bay area, Nature Coast, and spreading eastward along north of I-4 corridor towards Sanford. Isolated pockets of up to 18 inches of rainfall were observed in Pinellas and coastal Hillsborough counties. 5 to 10 inches of rainfall has been observed further northward towards Gainesville, along eastern portions of the I-4 corridor, and south of the western I-4 corridor towards Sarasota. Several rivers reached major flood stage, and major flooding continues along portions of the Hillsborough River, St. Johns River, and Little Wekiva River. Water levels are forecast to continue rising along northeast and west central Florida rivers and waterways, with many forecasts to remain within or reach moderate to flood stage over the next day or so. We had over 80,000 people that were into shelters overnight as the storm hit the state. We will better understand the extent of the damage as the day progresses. And you have people that are out there assessing damage right now. First responders have been working all through the night to help people who were in distress. And what we can say is the storm was significant, but thankfully this was not the worst case scenario. The storm did weaken before landfall, and the storm surge, as initially reported, has not been as significant overall as what was observed for Hurricane Helene. Right now, it looks like Sarasota County had the most significant storm surge, likely somewhere between 8 to 10 feet. And remember, with Helene, we had 15 to 20 feet up in Taylor County. Rescue missions have been underway throughout the night. State search and rescue teams report at least 48 individuals have been rescued as of 0630. National Guard search and rescue teams have worked overnight and successfully executed rescues of families and pets on the West Coast and from the destruction of the tornadoes in the central and eastern parts of Florida. The Guard continues to work into the morning and have 31 rescue aircraft operational and hundreds of rescuers engaged in over 125 active missions in 26 different counties. Over 6,500 soldiers are deployed throughout the state. Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission has made land and water rescues in Pinellas, Hillsborough, and Pasco County. The State Guard has also been engaged in search and rescue, assisting with floodwater evacuations as well as damage assessments. There are currently 3.1 million accounts without power. There have been 635,000 restorations since Hurricane Milton hit Florida. The areas that have the most significant outages as of this morning are Hillsborough, 75% out, Hardy, 97% out, Manatee, 82% out, Pinellas, 68% out, and Sarasota, 75% out. Of course, there are 50,000 plus linemen that have been pre-staged. A lot of what they'll do this morning is likely assess the damage and then begin restoration operations very quickly. And we appreciate everybody that's in that fight because that's very important for a lot of people. Cut and toss have begun at first light by the Florida Department of Transportation. 328 crews are active in the field with over 350 pieces of heavy equipment and trucks. 150 bridge inspectors were dispatched at first light and have begun performing inspections to open bridges across the impact areas. As I put in my executive order, residents have a right to be back into their homes as soon as the roadways are deemed safe. In Tampa, the Gandy Bridge and Howard Franklin Bridge have been inspected, cleared, and are open, and inspections of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge are underway. There is debris on the Sunshine Skyway as well as the Courtney Campbell, but once that debris is clear, we anticipate those bridges opening later this morning. Other bridges are being opened as soon as the state inspections are completed. The Tampa Airport is repairing minimal damage and should be open no later than tomorrow. Seaports are awaiting Coast Guard channel surveys to reopen waterside, but as of now, our initial assessments is they will likely be able to resume operations very quickly. We still have a lot of school closures for today. I think Floridians should just keep in contact with their local officials about what that's going to be. I would imagine a lot of the schools that were not necessarily in the direct path of the storm will be open tomorrow. It may take a few more days for some of the places that were harder hit. Now, as you survey damage and clean up, please be cautious of hazards. We have post-storm fatalities almost every storm, and a lot of these fatalities are avoidable. So please be cautious of down power lines. Don't touch them. Don't remove tree debris that may be entangled with down power lines. Standing water can conceal down power lines and other hazards, so please be mindful and never walk through storm waters. Standing storm waters can also carry a bacteria that can lead to fatal infections. This type of infection was responsible for a fatality following Hurricane Helene, so please avoid wading through standing water. Please use proper ladder safety. Please use proper generator safety. Do not operate the generator inside your home. It must be outside, a safe distance from doors and windows. Visit Florida's emergency accommodation modules on Expedia and Priceline will remain available for those who are returning to their homes, which were evacuated during the storm and sustained damage or in need of other type of shelter. So these models will continue to provide real-time hotel availability and lodging resources, making the experience easier for users. If traffic lights are out in your area, please drive with caution and treat each light as you would a four-way stop. And also remember, if you're going to use a chainsaw, be very careful with that. We have mishaps on that after every storm. We are extending the Hope Florida line for another 2 weeks at 24 hours, 7 days a week. So if you need assistance or resources post-storm, You can call 1-833-GET-HOPE, 1-833-GET-HOPE. Hope Florida's Disaster Arm, Activate Hope, is a program designed to help people find help following a disaster, such as a hurricane. So you can call the Hope line. You can also visit the Hope bus, which will be in some of these areas very soon, and there'll be announcements about that. Florida Commerce and the State Emergency Response Team activated the Business Damage Assessment Survey in response to Hurricane Milton. Business owners can self-report physical and economic damage caused by the storm. Businesses can complete the survey online at floridadisaster.biz, floridadisaster.biz. Florida Commerce has also activated the Small Business Emergency Bridge Loan Program. We have $50 million available to Florida small businesses, and it's a zero interest loan, very flexible repayment options. You can apply for loans of up to $50,000 through the program. Loans of up to $100,000 are available for agriculture and aquaculture small businesses, and loans of $150,000 are available for citrus and cattle operations. Again, these are short-term zero-interest loan. You get the cash in your hand. The repayment terms are very flexible. You can apply at www.floridajobs.org/EBL, floridajobs.org/EBL. We've also activated the Florida Disaster Fund for those who want to make tax-deductible charitable contributions that will be used to be able to help Floridians who are in need. And you can go to floridadisasterfund.org, floridadisasterfund.org, if you have any questions. We're going to continue to support all remaining rescue missions that are underway and that may be needed in the near future. We'll also continue to assess the damage that was done from the storm. We also anticipate that because of the amount of water, you may see flooding happen not just now, but in the subsequent days. But I think everybody responded very quickly. I'm proud of everybody's hard work. We got more work to do, but we will absolutely get through this. Okay, Kevin Guthrie.
Good morning, everyone. Governor, thank you for your leadership time and time again. I know you and the State Emergency Response Team will lead the charge as we respond to and recover from this storm. Hurricane Milton officially made landfall. As you heard the governor say, the impacts from the storm are still being felt across north and east central Florida, even right now as that last banding train of rain starts to move offshore. Please, especially if you're in the areas, if you're in those areas of northeast Florida, the east race coast, space coast, please make sure you're sheltering in place until officials determine it is safe for you to leave. In the first 72 hours after a storm, there was a parallel effort to search, secure, and stabilize the area. As search and rescue missions continued in response to Milton, please do not go out and visit the impacted areas. You will be inhibiting first responders by doing so. Right now, we need those roadways clear for electrical crews, fire crews, EMS crews, urban search and rescue crews. We have 20-something urban search and rescue teams that will move into the area and do a door-by-door search. Even though, as you heard the governor say, this was not the worst-case scenario, we still had damage. And we're going to need to get out there and go door-to-door and make sure that everyone is okay. So please stay off the road. Listen to your local authorities for updates on when it is safe to go outside and when it is safe for you to return to your homes. I know a lot of people evacuated, and we appreciate that. Do not be in a hurry. Check in with your local emergency management agency, your local sheriff's offices to see if they're posting anything on if it's safe to return home. Please make sure you do that. Again, as the governor said, we're going to open up roads and bridges so that you can do so, but there may be extenuating circumstances in the neighborhood level. So please make sure you're checking before you come back home. Major flooding continues along the Hillsborough, St. Johns, and Little Wekiva rivers. I want to take just a moment and just talk about there is going to be another phase to this particular incident, and that is very similar to Hurricane Ian. We have a lot of rain that has fallen over the central portion of Florida. The St. Johns River basin that comes down into Seminole County, Brevard, portions of Brevard, portions of Volusia County, and on up the St. Johns River. Those headwaters have experienced a lot of rainfall. That river takes about 45 days to completely flush itself out. to the Atlantic Ocean. So what we're going to be seeing first is impacts down in the Seminole County and surrounding county area. And then you'll see that move up into Palaca, Weelaca, and then on up into St. John's, Flagler, Clay, Duval counties. So that's going to be a long-term effort when it comes to making sure that people are monitoring the situation on the St. Johns River, as well as the ones that I mentioned, the Hillsborough and the Little Wekiva. Some roadways are flooded, which is not a safe situation for anyone. Please do not attempt to walk or drive through floodwaters. Accidents due to floodwaters are 100% preventable. All you got to do is turn around. If you're sheltered in place or when you return to your home and you're looking at the damages around your home right now, do one thing for us. Take out your phone, take some pictures, inside and outside, all four sides of the house, every room inside the house. What are things that you should be documenting? Make sure you're documenting just the physical damages, but then also, since this was a flooding event, we want to make sure that you capture those, what we call high water marks on your home. Do that inside and outside. For a point of reference, when you're on the outside of the home, make sure you get like the doorknob of the outdoor house. That'll give us a reference, a point of reference on how high that water got. If you're on the inside, make sure you have like an electrical socket or a light switch, or again, a door handle on the inside of your home in the picture, so that we can get some type of reference as to how high that water is coming. If you're beginning the cleanup process, please ensure you're wearing the appropriate safety gear. Do not attempt to clean up hazardous debris or down power lines. As the governor has said, report all of that to your local authorities. Do not cut any lines. Again, we do not need Florida man and Florida woman out there cutting random lines as they go. You don't know what is a cable line. You don't know what is an electrical line. And probably more importantly these days is you don't know what is a fiber optic line. Most of our 911 lines run across fiber optic. We do not want anybody cutting lines. Let the professionals come in here and identify what it is before it's cut. Remember, again, some roads are still dangerous due to flooding, debris, and potential downlines. Do not risk it. Let our crews get out there and get everything back up and running. For assistance after the storm, call State Assistance Information Line. Again, that's information only, 1-800-342-3557. Help is available in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole. FloridaDisaster.org/updates for information on the web. And then, of course, follow us at FLSERT on X and Instagram, and Facebook at FDEM. That is the most trusted and fastest source that we have. We have several people helping us out on posting on social media. So that is going to be the best place and the fastest place to get stuff from us. Thank you, Governor DeSantis. Again, as together we will overcome this storm.
Okay. Roger.
The risk today.
I think that the biggest headline, and we can tick through it because it's important, he did say, thankfully, the worst.
What I said in the original talkers, we had certain worst case scenarios in terms of going into Tampa Bay. A lot of places in Pinellas County, and they had negative storm surge because it sucked the water out of the bay. So in terms of all that, where you'd see the entire Tampa Bay area underwater, that did not happen. The storm surge, and it was most acute in Sarasota. And I think it was a little bit more than Sarasota got for Helene, but it wasn't like so much more. I think it was 8 to 10 feet. Helene, of course, got almost to 20 in Taylor County. And then I think the fact that the storm weakened, I think I'm not saying there's not going to be damage. There will be. It cut across the state in a way that Helene did not. But in terms of just right now, the morning after, if I think back to like Hurricane Ian, I don't think that you're looking at similar amount of damage to Ian. And then with Helene, there may end up being more overall damage. There may not. I don't know. But definitely the surge did not reach Helene levels. I mean, Helene was producing major surge all across the west coast of Florida. And then in the Big Bend, it was just biblical. That was not necessarily what we happened here. Anything north of the storm had minimal surge on the west coast. And it was really kind of that Sarasota, Charlotte Harbor, down into Lee, Collier. But compared to what they had with Hurricane Ian, that is not on the same level. So we'll see. There'll be a lot more that'll need to be done to assess the extent of the damage. But what I think we can say is, we have a lot of resources in play here in Florida to be able to mitigate and get people back on their feet and get the state moving again. I think that's what people want. They want to get back in their homes. They want to see the roads clear. They want to see the bridges reopen. And so that's what our sole focus, so that we get people back.
The areas, Tropicana Field, its roof shattered. It's my understanding that they were relocated on Wednesday.
Yeah, they were relocated. So, I mean, the Tropicana Field is a routine staging area for these things. The roof on that is not rated for, I think it's rated for 110 miles an hour. And so, the forecast changes, but as it became clear that there was going to be something of that magnitude that was going to be within the distance, they redeployed them out of Tropicana. So there were no state assets that were in Tropicana Field. I think Duke also removed all their assets as well. And you look, I mean, the roof is basically, it's like a fabric almost with that. So that was something that we understood and acted accordingly. They were.
Governor Ron DeSantis speaking from the state capitol in Florida. We're going to sneak in a quick break here with much more coverage of Hurricane Milton straight ahead.
Hey, y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day. I shouldn't even be saying that because what's going on in Florida, but it wasn't as bad as they thought it was. They said it was going to be worse. So we looked at CNN, we looked at MSNBC. Hopefully, if you're down there, you can clean up very quickly. Because, every day, as they were saying on the weather, it's getting colder at night. Now, it'd be nice to have heat and electricity. But anyway, how are y'all doing this morning? I'm not going to stay on here too long because there's something that I'm looking up that I want to finish researching and I can bring to y'all. It kind of sucks that the Weather Channel doesn't have a live feed, but let me see some of these Fox feeds. Let me see. Let's see this Fox 13. Where are you? Yes. Oh, of course, when I go, they're on commercial. All right. So they said that the Tampa Bay area is out of hurricane and tropical storm warnings. So that's a good thing. Good morning, Cosme. You said, what's on the agenda today? I am going to, once I finish with this, I'm going to upload a commentary. I just got to add a little thing to it. Oh, programming note. Please join me Sunday afternoon. I have a special guest coming on. We've confirmed everything, and it's going to be an interesting conversation. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I'll make a point before that happens to introduce you to this person before I introduce you to this person. We're gonna have a frank conversation. So that's Sunday. We got some bricks content coming up. It's another thing I'm researching. Oh, while we're waiting for that, let me show you that Lieutenant Dan piece, because he's about to become MAGA's new favorite avatar.
Wait around. Yep.
I always push the wrong one.
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
We got the boat here and Lieutenant Dan here. How did it go? How'd the night go?
It was a little rough till about 11:30. I repositioned the boat and I was heading into the wind, and I slept like a baby from 12:30 to 5 o'clock this morning. I woke up twice to pee. That was it. But other than that, I mean, it's been a great night. I just smoked half a joint. I'm high. I'm watching all the people run around like crazy because of all the water. The water went up. It was up to here last night. It was over the fucking pole.
There's the boat still standing.
I mean, I believe me, I got battered against the tire. But other than a couple of scuff marks on the side, my boat's in better shape now than it was before because it got washed. So, I mean, everything is a plus. It's a win-win all the way around.
What'd you learn from this experience?
Not a damn thing. No.
Sinful.
There actually, there are a lot of good people in this world. And I gave up on this world years ago because I've been on my own. And, I mean, I struggle every freaking day just living. And never anybody offers to help. Never. But Terrence here posted this video, and it started getting likes, and then people started realizing that, you know, maybe he's not just crazy, maybe he really does need help.
Of course, man. Let's go.
And people came out and helped me remove my boat from down over here where I would have got smashed last.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't do this. I'm not hating on this man. I'm hating on the fact of what he's representing. Y'all really made this man famous because he decided to ride out a hurricane. Y'all put this man up as an avatar because he owns a boat. I swear the majority of America really highlights mediocrity. But they'll highlight this man, right? But then in 2 hours, they'll be like, oh, you need to be paying our civil service workers. So y'all couldn't make civil service workers famous so they can get some more resources. You couldn't do that. You highlight teachers for the wrong reasons. You couldn't do that. You highlighted this man without a foot who has a boat. Y'all place bets on this man's life just so you could say you were part of something. Y'all put a GoFundMe up for this man. Must be fucking nice. Oh, man. And there it is. He got $39,000. Y'all are, man, okay, 35,000. So I just went on the GoFundMe. 35,000. You gave him 35,000. Robin, you gave this thing $1,000. You could have given that to somebody that really needs it. You could have given $1,000 to 2 or 3 families so they could go get some groceries when these grocery stores open up, or at least pay some bills. You could have done. You gave it to this man who just told you he was smoking weed. Never mind. You know what? At times I don't even begrudge the Most High for what he does.
Specifically Holmes Beach, kind of the north end there, lets you see what the situation is on that barrier island. But of course, it is still closed even to us. So what we found on the way is these townhouses where this massive tree has been uprooted here. Did not fall on anybody's vehicle from what we can tell here. I'm going to walk down this way just to double check. Doesn't look like anybody was parked immediately by that tree. But there's quite a lot of standing water here. Looks kind of like a dead zone. And by that, I mean an evacuated area. And that's good. If the water is this low now, or is this?
I don't care. I'm going to say that man pulled himself up by his bootstrap, even though.
Oh, I don't like saying that.
I don't like saying that. Oof.
We want to get down to Cortez, the fishing village, and see what the effects are there. So we're going to keep making our way around Bradenton.
And they
But
said
again,
no
the big takeaway that
unnecessary
we want
laundry. Y'all out of
continue to
line.
share with our viewers is that if you're thinking about heading back this way, you see that those traffic lights are out, treat those traffic lights as a four-way stop because it's a little chaotic at those intersections. I'm afraid somebody's going to get hurt. Ryan, you back me up on this? Yeah, both of us agree. A lot of drivers on the road agree. Slow down.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. You and Ryan are doing a great job out there, and you too be safe while you're out there. All right, you know, most of Hillsborough County was able to escape the brunt of the hurricane.
But there's still damage and a lot of power outages. Our Kelly Cowan continues our coverage. Kel?
Good morning to you. Yeah, we're in one of those neighborhoods that still is without power at this point, and that's a lot of Hillsborough County because of the high winds that brought down not only the power lines but also
proud to be an American fool.
So that's making it a lot slower
Fuck outta
going
here.
for crews that are out there trying to work to restore power. It's also making it really slow going for emergency officials who are still trying to respond to all of the emergencies that have been called in overnight. You can see in this neighborhood in particular, or this street rather, this tree split two different ways and it's blocking the entire road in both directions. And we've seen several cars kind of come up to this and then decide that, yeah, maybe not going to get through here. And that's certainly what officials are warning people about right now. They don't want you out on the roadways because not only are they working to respond to emergencies right now, but also you have crews that are out there trying to assess damage, trying to restore power, trying to clear the roadways and make them accessible again. And that just cannot happen easily if you have people out there who are driving around just to drive around, don't really have a emergency purpose to be on the roads right now, and are out there and potentially getting into accidents, getting themselves into trouble. We saw several vehicles try to attempt to go through high waters this morning in flooded areas and end up stalled out and having to call 911 themselves. So that's the opposite of what officials want right now. That's why they are stressing so much that they want you to stay off the roadways until they give you the all clear. I know a lot of people might be waking up without power. It's frustrating. It's warming up in your house, but they want you to stay put for now because of situations just like this one.
Kel, that is something to see.
Yeah,
wow.
it is.
All right. Take care. We'll talk later, okay?
Wow.
Pinellas County took a pounding during the hurricane.
The wind was so strong, it blew the roof off of Tropicana Field. At Fox 13's Regina Gonzalez is in Pinellas. And I think that will be one of the most striking images we remember from Milton.
Yeah, I even said it when we were going from Clearwater to St. Pete earlier this morning. You come over I-275 South and you start to see the dome of the Trop, and it was just completely torn to shreds. There were even pieces of it on the interstate. But then when we were there, we got word that there was water rescues going on in Clearwater communities. So we came back over to now check out the Genesis apartment complex area. You've got flooding from Alligator Creek mixed with a lot of rain in a short period of time, water seeping into first level apartments like you couldn't imagine. And actually someone who can explain it is someone who experienced it. We've got Francis Sloan with us this morning. Francis, I'm so sorry for what happened. Can you kind of explain what your night looked like?
Well, we started like looking at Alligator Creek, and we realized that it's probably going to, kind of spill over. I live right by I think the attention span or whatever it is. It's like, I guess, where the water goes out into the actual creek, and it just came in too fast, really, really quickly. So I realized that the water was not going to hold and that it was going to probably come into our apartment. So we started just like putting towels, and we started putting like plastic everywhere. My neighbor had sandbags. She really had it the worst because it started coming up from the floor. It just came out. Our windows were I guess, taking in water. It was just coming in pretty quickly.
Now, it's one complex, but two different parts, one on the right, one on the left. Everybody saw flooding. I mean, what do you make of this? Have you seen this before?
Never. Never. This is I mean, like on the national forest side, like you would probably get you might have some little pockets of, I guess water, but we've never seen it up to the pier. It's all flooded, the whole thing. I mean, it's like a whole river down there. It's no way you can even distinguish what it is. It's like our apartment complex is merging with the national forest.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you and your family have a place to go, a plan? What kind of happens from here on out?
We don't really have a plan to go anywhere. We're just going to kind of wait it out. I was pretty prepared. I mean, I have water. We have perishable items, food items I made. I bought a grill. Just in case our meat was going to like go anywhere. We have, I mean, like we can actually, it's
still habitable.
Yes, it is. I mean, like, we kind of swept the water out.
All you can do right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's Florida. That's the price of living in Florida. I mean, you just have to do what you can do, and we're helping neighbors, and we're firing up the grill. Everybody's trying to get some food, so we're just helping each other. That's all we can do.
Oh, well, that's amazing. And honestly, you guys are going to have to lean on each other right now. That's what we love to see in the event of such a disaster. Francis, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We really appreciate you. We do know that local first responders, they put that sign up. It says road closed for flooding. There was a lot of police activity on the adjacent road. We kind of came through Gulf to Bay. Access to Pinellas County is shut down. It's completely closed. The bridges I know are supposed to open later today, but Sheriff Bob Galtieri, local entities like Clearwater, they don't want anyone around here. We need to show you this footage later because, Laura, we were interviewing a gentleman whose car got ruined and a tree from the saturated ground just fell as we were speaking and hit the building. We had to run over and make sure everybody was okay. So that's also kind of like the domino effect you're going to see of all this debris, all this saturation. Got to be careful out there.
Gosh, you guys are going through it out there in the field. That woman was great.
You're
by
going
the
it.
way.
She was.
That
We
is
love
a
her.
You're
true
going through it out there in the field while we're sitting here just reporting on it.
Such a positive light. This is like literally exactly what we need right now.
I'm a nurse, so I normally work over here and there. So I mean, and I'm staying right here just in case they need me. So yeah, but I mean, we're gonna get through all this. This is just, we have to. That's it. Yeah, we have to pick up the pieces. That's it.
You're such a ray of sunshine after this storm.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Send it back to you.
That's our hero. Our hero.
Our
Just
hero.
sweep the water out and fire up the grill.
Fire up the grill. Cook that good old gator.
She said you're going to sweep
You want
the
some?
water out and
You
fire
want
up
some
the
gator
grill. That's our
leg?
favorite
I
quote
got
in
some of that good
mornings
gator
so
leg.
far. You gotta laugh.
You want the ketchup sauce or the mustard
All right.
sauce?
You've been great out there in the field.
Shut
Thank you for
up.
everything you're doing.
See you, Jada.
Yeah, you got your food. I know you're hungry. I know you're starved. Here's your drink.
This will be one of the iconic images from this storm. What happened to the roof of Tropicana Field? It just blew off. It's made of some kind of fiberglass, we've learned, and was designed to withstand, I believe we heard 150-mile-an-hour wind.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get that high, but it's not a new roof either. And
we understand parts of it are on the interstate.
I'm not doing this.
Yeah, parts of it on 175.
I need one. My makeup.
And we heard from the mayor this morning because the light stayed on in the interior of the dome. So it created this eerie
generator,
kind of surreal feel to it.
It's called a generator.
Yeah, it is. All right. In our 6 o'clock hour, we heard from Tampa Mayor Jane Castor on the state of the city in the wake of Hurricane Milton.
now, while it's calm now, the mayor talked about the damage we're seeing as everybody starts waking up. Listen.
We have had extensive damage, trees down, have over 500,000 TECO customers out of electricity. I know the second, I've already been on the phone with Archie Collins. Second the sun comes back up, they are going to have their troops out there fixing the electricity, getting everybody re-energized. What we are asking you now is please, please stay inside. Stay inside until we can get out there with our teams. They are all in action right now. We can get
for any organization are the quickest and fastest way you can help for any organization make a positive impact.
Don't be stealing no
And Nicole, you
kids.
mentioned those evacuation shelters. How long will those remain
Oh, I
open
don't like
for
saying
people?
that.
And then
I
when do
don't
you
like
transition to
saying
that
that.
next phase,
Ooh.
those post-storm shelters?
Absolutely. Counties are making those decisions right now, I would imagine. And so as folks are giving the green light to start going home, we want to understand what the damage and what the impact was for this. And so some of these shelters, evacuation centers, may transition into post-storm shelters. If you download the Red Cross Emergency app, you will find a list of all of our open shelters. You can call 1-800-RED-CROSS to find the closest shelter to you. But just know that you may come back home and need that support. There are resources available, and maybe you just have power outages. That is still significant. You can come to shelters for hot meals. We have electricity. We'll get you plugged in, and you'll be able to have community around you.
All right, Nicole, we thank you for taking the time. I know you got a
Leave the
very
children
full plate
alone.
today. Thanks a lot. We'll have much more from Florida on the impact of Hurricane Milton throughout the next hour. But first, it's time to check your local weather. It's 15 minutes after the hour.
That music sucks. You knew they were coming. Pause. Who wants some of that Panera Bread mac and cheese? Mm. All right, family. I think we got enough. So Pinellas County got hit the hardest. And, you know, all things considered, it's not that bad. But anyway. It's time for me to mosey on out of here. So hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. Like I said, I got an upload coming around 3:30. Got some good programming for you. Got the BRICS content coming up. They still mad over affirmative action. I don't know if I'm going to do something on that. I'm still debating that because they just being a. I almost don't want to laugh, but then I don't want to laugh. Because they lost. But, you know, it is what it is. Wait, I want to know the name of this black woman before I leave. What's your name?
So far, we'll check in on efforts to help the survivors and deal with the damage. This is CBS Mornings.
Yeah, CBS Mornings.
I'm never going to be the person I was
never mind.
before the 7th
Hang
of
on.
October.
Okay. I'm out of here. So y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.
Wait around. Yep. Smart. Yeet and get out.
Time's up.
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
At the end of the day got to end.
Get your money up, not your funny up. Big fucking move.
And that's it.